Good morning, one and all. My name is Patrick Seiler. I would like to welcome you from the bottom of my heart to this, the 6th annual United in Sustainability Summit for the credit union industry. My name is Patrick Seiler. I'm the Senior Associate General Counsel at the United Nations Federal Credit Union. I will be your host and your master of ceremonies today, in addition to my work as a lawyer, just so you don't hold that against me the rest of the day. I am also the Deputy Program Manager for the industry team in our global sustainability program. Now, some of you know, if you've met me outside of these hallowed walls, that I came to the credit union movement via a rather circuitous route. My path included the world of Shakespearean performance, but because of a very full schedule today, I have been admonished that I am to engage in no soliloquies. It will be, in fact, my job to keep us all on schedule so that we can get to all the topics that we're covering. And with that in mind, I ask all of our speakers to please bear in mind that, as the bard said, brevity is the soul of wit. One other note for all the speakers who happen to be in the room, I'll throw this reminder out because I know some folks are joining us a little later in the day. If you're presenting here and you have a slide deck, there is occasionally a slight lag after you push the button before the slide advances. Don't panic, the slide will advance. If you push it multiple times, it's going to go too far and we'll eat up more time than is necessary going back and forth and finding our place. If it really breaks down, we always have the old-fashioned method of just asking for next slide, and then one of our amazing volunteers will be able to advance the slide deck for you. Just that little bit of housekeeping. It was also Shakespeare, of course, who offered that all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Today, we represent that world stage by welcoming a global audience here to the American states in the heart of Washington, D.C. Now, whether your organization is large or small, whether you're interested in accelerating your sustainability journey, or maybe you're just starting it, we've brought together subject matter experts today with important and timely information that should be applicable to everyone, and we'll break out at certain points so that depending on where you are in your sustainability journey, you might find an event that happens in here a little more edifying, or an event that happens in a different location. Over the course of the day, we're going to cover updates on the transition, on climate finance, and nature-based capital. We'll also discuss how to increase inclusivity and belonging in the workplace and social purpose in the communities we serve. But before we get underway, though, I just want to take one moment to acknowledge that we meet today on the ancestral homeland of the Nacotchtonk people. The Nacotchtonk cared for the river now called the Anacostia and the land along its banks. In this season of Thanksgiving, and in the spirit of our gathering, I ask everyone here, take a moment, those joining us remotely, please honor the tradition of caring for these lands and waters in a sustainable way so that the generations to come can enjoy the same benefits that we've enjoyed. Thank you for that. Now, throughout the day, we invite you all to participate actively and share your insights on sustainability. Where are you in your sustainability journey? How's your credit union tackling environmental, social, and governance issues, or ESG? What sustainability issues are the most critical for your organization? And where do climate adaptation and risk management fit in? To the extent possible, we will take for all of our speakers toward the end of each segment. If you're here in the room, just raise your hand and we'll have volunteers meet you with a handheld microphone. If you're joining us remotely, you can feel free to use the Q&A box on your screen. If we don't get to everyone's questions, we will do our best to follow up with you individually. Credit union people understand that strength comes from connection. With that in mind, everyone who registered will receive a follow-up email with contact information so that we all can stay connected and really build this network. Please feel free to post your thoughts over the course of the day, your impressions to social media. We have created the hashtag UIS Summit 2023. The QR code you see behind me on screen right now provides a link to the full program with full of all of the speakers and all of the activities that we'll be looking at today. You can follow along. All right, enough from me. I thought so. At this point, I'd like to welcome John Lewis, President and CEO of the United Nations Federal Credit Union, up to the stage to share a few opening comments. Good morning, John.
Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. Greetings all. It's an honor to join you at this annual event that sheds a spotlight on a credit union's strength, that is sustainability. Indeed, sustainability is a credit union differentiator and part of our DNA. This summit provides a forum for even greater knowledge sharing on some of the most pressing and complex challenges facing us today: climate change, social equity, and justice. Today in Dubai, the UN Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, known in short form as COP28, now we know why they shortened it, kicked off a few hours ago. I know that many of you are following these developments. The impact of climate change has come ever closer to home, with droughts, fires, orange skies, intense storms, and record-breaking temperatures, as reported in the just released UN Environmental Programme's 2023 Gap Emissions Report. As the credit union that serves the financial needs of the UN community globally, we are committed to and inspired by our members' tireless work to build a better world. In 2018, UNFCU established the United Sustainability Network. We began with a dozen credit unions and organized an educational session at United Nations headquarters in New York. We shared best practices and ideas. In gathering here today, we want to further that conversation on innovation, inclusivity, and purpose that speaks to our credit union values of service to community and learning from one another. Credit unions are doing amazing work in this space. It was great and energizing to chat with many of you last night at our reception about your initiatives. It's the first time we've taken this on the road. We're pleased to have an international audience that includes Brazil, Ireland, the UK, Kenya, the Caribbean, and provinces across Canada. As we all know, partnerships are key to movement building. I wish to sincerely thank the organization American States OAS Federal Credit Union for once again co-hosting this event. Your leadership's IT, logistics, and volunteer support have been invaluable. Much, much, much appreciated. We look forward to Carlos Calderon, UNFCU's president and CEO, sharing his perspective on the intersection of credit union values and sustainability a little later on in the program. Let me now introduce, where is she? Let me now introduce Emma Gordon, Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility and Impact at UNFCU and the Executive Director of the UNFCU Foundation, to share her thoughts on making sustainability a strategic priority across your organization, with a few highlights from our most recent impact report. Emma.
Feel so Academy Award-ish. We love that. Thank you, John. So appreciate it. And good day, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to all of our friends, old friends, new friends. Really, really excited to have you. Echoing John's sentiments, it is really a privilege to be with you today. It's a defining moment for climate action. I know that I speak for our entire UNFCU and UIS planning team in saying how thrilled we are to be with you again. It's hard to believe it's been it's been a little bit over a year actually since we gathered last at the United Nations in New York. And as John reminded us, in the time since we've convened as UIS last, the urgency of our work on sustainability has increased. But I would also suggest so has our opportunity to move forward as an industry. And this year at COP28 in Dubai, countries are undertaking the first global stock take, which will assess progress globally on the Paris Agreement goals to reduce global warming and chart a way forward for us all. Today, we too will convene as credit unions, as credit union partners to focus our own efforts in building resiliency through sustainability. And to discuss climate risks, sustainable products, we have amazing panels ahead of us. When we talk about sustainability, we talk about it with the broad S. For us, that means not only achieving carbon emission reductions and clean energy transition, but it also means workplace inclusivity, It means diversity and belonging, and which are all integral to our success. I have to say, if you haven't met her, our global head of diversity, Carlene Alexander, is always willing to share great lessons. So feel free to reach out. But this past year is one of action for sustainability amongst credit unions, and we're continuing to reach deep into our own toolkits to address the climate crisis. From green financing to sustainable investments, incorporating climate adaptation measures, credit unions are now offering more innovative, sustainable solutions than ever before. And our members and communities are all relying on us to get this right. In addition to offering green solutions and products, we are also educating and empowering our members to understand and to reduce their own carbon footprints and to decrease energy costs. We're excited about these conversations in which we're providing that important education. And today we are looking forward to, amongst other panels, our clean energy transition panel to talk about investing in clean energy alternatives as well as affordable housing and clean water. And as we know, the impacts of climate change are here, prompting us to engage in climate risk analysis and hopefully mitigation. Speaking of climate risk, I know that as a credit union in this room, we're not alone in terms of beginning to incorporate environmental, social, and governance, aka ESG criteria, into all of our work, and that we bring the breadth of our organizations, all of the teams and functions into this analysis. It's no longer just about the CSR team or the impact team, but it really does permeate throughout our departments, and we are grateful for that. One of the things I really love about working in this industry is that we can call a friend and say, hey, how are you doing this? How is it working for you? What are the lessons you can share? Which is definitely not always the experience in other, industries, but we're not talking about them. But speaking of friends, we're also joined this year by some new folks. I can't name all of them, but I do want to say Navy Federal, we're happy to have you, Penn Fed. There are lots of great new folks who are joining us today, and we're really excited that you're here. We also know that beyond our organizations that our members care and in many cases are seeking the opportunity to invest in portfolios that prioritize environmentally responsible companies and sustainable practices. It does not go unnoticed by them either. We are, as a world, dealing with extreme weather. It's chilly today, we know that, but it also gets very, very hot. We know that these extreme weather events and natural disasters unfortunately disproportionately affect vulnerable communities who are least able to prepare for, but also to recover from heat waves, poor air quality, flooding, other impacts, et cetera. And according to scientists, this past July was the hottest month ever recorded. And most likely the hottest for the past over 100 years, 120,000 years. Some credit unions have become first responders during this increasingly intense and more frequent climate events around the world, often offering disaster relief loans, low interest mortgages for rebuilding in safer, more resilient ways, and financial counseling to help members cope with the financial aftermath of climate-related disasters. And in doing so, we do play a crucial role in helping climate-impacted communities to adapt to build what we hope will be resiliency for a long time. As credit unions, we are deeply rooted in local communities and are well positioned to develop innovative solutions. And I know we'll gain fresh insight from this from our colleague from Kauai, Monica, who brings such incredible insight and experience. Collectively, our commitment to addressing climate change exemplifies dedication to financial responsibility, the safety and soundness of our institutions, and the well-being of our members in the broader society. Additionally, credit unions often serve as pillars of support for migrant communities, recognizing the unique financial challenges they may face. And we look forward to hearing from that dynamic panel. I'm seeing Jennifer and others discuss the power of educational outreach and of credit union foundations. I see Natasha as innovators in this space. And this work not only aligns with our DEIB principles, but also reinforces the idea that financial institutions should adapt to evolving demographics of our communities. As credit unions continue to prioritize diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, we're becoming catalysts for positive change within the financial industry, setting an example for other institutions to follow. Really quickly, our 2022 impact report published this year in that we demonstrated direct action on 14 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, which we know collectively seek to transform the world by 2030, fast approaching. And across our CSR efforts within our organization, our SDGs are our North Star. We really do say that. They drive our action and they help us to really tackle big problems like ending poverty, creating decent work and economic growth, creating gender equality, affordable and clean energy, and tackling climate change. So as I wrap up, I'll share just a quick update on UNFCU's Global Sustainability Program, which is really driven and influenced by our stakeholder engagement across all of our business lines. That's not just for us lip service. We really do mean that and work on that. Their direct action engagement enables strategy to be woven throughout all of our operational decisions. Our executive sponsors, Pam and Prasad, are champions of this work. Without them, we can't do this. And it can't also be done without the army, really army of volunteers that help us to reach our goals, many of whom are here with us today. So I'm told that way back before I joined UNFCU, that the 5-staff volunteer green team quickly grew over time to more than 70 passionate volunteers. And fast forward to last year when we launched the Corporate Social Responsibility Department. So that's to suggest that we really are invested in the development of this. I must give shout outs to my colleague, Elizabeth Philippe, whose efforts are helping us to be here today. Thank you. And our other expert, Sophia Villarreal, who you'll hear from shortly, who are really our in-house experts in this area. But with board and executive leadership, we'll continue to prioritize our 5-year 2025 impact goals, working on positive change for the communities that we serve. Really quickly, so UNFCU has maintained 100% climate neutrality for the 7th straight year, updating our investment policies to prohibit investments in tobacco, firearms, fossil fuel industries. And we really were able to see 132% increase in the number of accounts across all green products, including in lending and other things, and worked on strategic diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging programs. Really briefly about the UNFCU Foundation. Fortunately, with the foundation grants, we were able to positively impact the lives of over 13,000 women and youth in marginalized communities across the world, including through quality education, critical healthcare, and job skills training. Quick note about our suppliers. Our supplier partners, we call them that deliberately, are critical to our sustainability efforts. And we continue to survey our suppliers on their sustainability practices. Tom always reminds us it's not about evaluating them, it's about evaluating our spend. So we appreciate that. But we do prioritize supplier diversity and expect our suppliers to follow our supplier code of conduct. We can ask more collectively of our supplier partners through the power of collective action and to join us on this journey. So I would encourage you to visit us on UIS Sustainability, United in Sustainability website, uisnetwork.org, which really includes information and ongoing resources on best practices and tools. Just a quick note that yesterday we had our inaugural conversation from the Advisory Council, UIS Advisory Council, which is just a small gathering of credit unions and credit union partners who are really helping us to provide innovative ideas and resources to the broader credit union industry. And we're really excited about this. We're looking forward to providing a new handbook, which will be helpful resources to the entire industry, which will also provide templates that will help everyone in the sustainability journey. Simply put, organizations that are practicing sustainability are just more profitable. And our sustainability operations have moved beyond just talk into action that builds members' trust. We capture financial performance, milestones, and operational results. So let's also take sustainability into full and transparent account. It is expected of us, and we can do that. And while all of us as credit unions may be at different points of this journey, we do want to come together today and throughout the year in this effort to advance sustainability and to support local purpose-driven efforts. Our members deserve and increasingly expect us to do that and to do no less than that. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to meeting many of you today, and we are so excited. Please join us on UIS LinkedIn. You heard about our hashtag, and thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ema.